Peppa and the Big Train. Today, Peppa and her friends are going on a train ride together. Hooray! They all cheer excitedly. Mr. Rabbit is the station master. He checks all the tickets. Tickets, please. Chug, chug, choo, choo, toot, toot. Miss Rabbit is driving the train. Here comes the big train, cheers Peppa. All aboard, says Mr. Rabbit. Then he waves a flag and blows his whistle. The doors shut, clank, clank, and the train leaves. Here are your activity sheets, says Madame Gazelle. You have to spot a boat, a red light, and a tunnel on the train ride. I see some trees, shouts Peppa. Are trees on the list? Asks Emily Elephant. No, replies Peppa. I see clouds, cheers Susie Sheep. Are clouds on the list? Asks Candy Cat. No, replies Susie. I see Grandad Dog, shouts Peppa. Is Grandad Dog on the list? Grandad Dog isn't on it, laughs Danny Dog. But he is sailing a boat, says Rebecca Rabbit. And the boat is on the list, adds Zoe Zebra. Hooray! Everyone cheers. Clickety-clack, the train rides on the track, sing the children. Suddenly the train screeches to a halt.
Bonk, bonk.
The ducks cross the track. A red light, cries Peppa. That's on our list. Oh, sighs Emily Elephant. We still haven't seen a tunnel. Just then, the train goes dark. We're in a tunnel, cries Susie Sheep. Hooray! Cheer all their friends. The tunnel is the last thing on their sheets. Last stop, cries Miss Rabbit. Everybody off. But how are we getting home? Asked Peppa. We are home, Peppa, says Madame Gazelle. The children were so busy spotting things, they didn't notice that the great big train had gone in a great big circle. The end. First words with Peppa Pig. Level 1. Daddy Pig's Big Jump. Meet Peppa, George, Daddy Pig, Mummy Pig, and Mr. Potato. Learn and big, blue, down, funny, I, jump, my, red, run, yellow. Read television, everyone, costume, boots, muddy puddle. I can see Mr. Potato on the television, says Daddy Pig. Peppa, George, Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig sat down. Mr. Potato is funny, says Peppa. A cap for the best jump in a muddy puddle, said Peppa. You can win that cap, Daddy. You can make a big run and jump. I can win. I can make a big run and jump down in a muddy puddle, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig, you can jump and win a cup, everyone said.
Hooray!
I can. I can make a big run and jump. I can go in my red and blue costume, said Daddy Pig.
Wow!
The red and blue costume is funny, said Peppa. Peppa, it is the best costume for Daddy Pig's jump, said Mummy Pig. Help! I cannot find my yellow boots for my run and jump, said Daddy Pig. Grandpa Pig had the yellow boots. Look at the funny yellow pots, he said. Daddy Pig had the red and blue costume and the yellow boots.
Wow!
I can make a big run and jump. I can jump down in the muddy puddle, said Daddy Pig. It will be funny, said Mr. Potato. Daddy Pig got set to run and jump. My red and blue costume is the best, and my yellow boots. My jump will be the best yet, he said. Daddy Pig did a big run. He did a big jump. Daddy Pig came down splash in a muddy puddle. A big jump is funny, said Daddy Pig. You can make a big run and a big jump, said Mummy Pig. And you came down in the muddy puddle, said Peppa. Can the big jump win the cup, said Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig, you can make a big run and a big jump, said Mr. Potato. Here is the cup. Daddy is the best, said Peppa. The end. Peppa Pig, Pedro Pony. This is Peppa's friend, Pedro Pony. Pedro likes skateboarding. Come on, Peppa, shouts Pedro. Let's have a race. Peppa gets on her bicycle. Ready, steady, go, she says. Sometimes Pedro is a little bit shy. Sometimes Pedro is not shy at all. Peppa and Pedro are both in the school play.
Wow!
You are very good, Peppa tells Pedro. Almost as good as me. Pedro has a pet stick insect called Stephen. Hello, Stephen, giggles Peppa. A stick insect is an insect that looks like a stick. Pedro likes playing pirates. Arr! Calls Pirate Pedro. Who wants to help me guard some pirate treasure? We do! Shout Peppa and her friends. Peppa has lots of fun with her friend Pedro.
Hooray!
When he grows up, Pedro would like to be a superhero. But Peppa thinks Pedro is super already. Peppa loves Pedro Pony. Everyone loves Pedro Pony.
Hooray!
The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa visits the Outback. Peppa has come to visit Kylie Kangaroo. Daddy Pig rings the bell. Mr. Kangaroo opens the door. He is surprised to see Peppa and all her family. Kylie, he calls, look who has dropped by. Kylie's little brother, Joey, smiles at George.
Dinosaur, says George. Roar. Grrr, says Joey. Crocodile.
We're going for a picnic, says Mrs. Kangaroo. Why don't you come along? The picnic spot is a long way away. Mr. Kangaroo has to fly a plane to get there.
We're going to the Outback,
Says Kylie.
I love the Outback,
Snorts Peppa.
What is it?
Mr. Kangaroo explains that the Outback is a very special, magical place. The plane lands at the picnic spot. It is very hot. Mr. Kangaroo gives out bottles of water. Daddy Pig tips a bottle of water all over his head. Ah, nice and cool.
Daddy,
Frowns Peppa.
you should drink it, not splash it around.
Mr. Kangaroo cooks the picnic food on the barbecue.
When we have a picnic, Mrs. Duck always shows up,
Says Peppa. A little brown animal waddles into the sunshine.
When we have a picnic,
Grins Kylie.
Mrs. Duck-billed Platypus always shows up.
After the picnic, there's time for a game of cricket,
You can bat, Peppa.
says Mrs. Kangaroo. Kylie bowls the ball. Peppa hits it with the bat. Whack! Oh dear, the ball has landed in a tree. Daddy Pig lifts Peppa up high. She reaches for the ball.
Oh,
She gasps.
a teddy bear is holding on to it. That's not a teddy,
Giggles Kylie.
that's a koala.
Peppa smiles at the koala. It is very sweet and cuddly. When it gets dark, Mr. Kangaroo flies everyone back home again.
You're staying at our house tonight, Peppa.
Says Kylie.
Yippee,
Snorts Peppa.
I loved our picnic in the Outback.
The end. Playtime for Peppa and George. This is Peppa and George. Peppa is George's big sister. They share a bedroom and lots of toys. Peppa and George love being brother and sister. They play fun games together every day. One day, Peppa and George are with Mummy and Daddy Pig in the living room. Mummy Pig has to work on her computer, and Daddy Pig wants to work in the garden. Peppa, George, why don't you two play a game? Asked Daddy Pig.
Oh, goody,
Says Peppa.
George and I love to play games.
George likes that idea too. It is a lovely sunny day, so Peppa and George run outside.
George, let's jump up and down in muddy puddles,
Shouts Peppa. But George does not want to jump in muddy puddles today. He would like to play a different game.
Okay,
Says Peppa.
we can play catch instead.
Peppa tosses a ball to George. But George does not want to play catch either.
George, what would you like to play?
Asked Peppa. George has an idea for a new game. Peppa follows George to Mummy and Daddy Pig's bedroom.
There's nothing fun to play in here.
Says Peppa. George shows Peppa a box at the end of the bed.
What's this?
Asks Peppa.
Wow,
Says Peppa.
George, do you want to dress up and pretend to be Mummy and Daddy?
George does want to dress up.
Good idea,
Says Peppa.
I want to play that game too.
Peppa helps George put on Daddy Pig's black hat, coat, and shoes.
Now you must pretend to be exactly like Daddy Pig,
she says. George thinks for a moment. He makes a loud noise, just like Daddy Pig.
Very good, George,
Says Peppa.
Now it's my turn.
Peppa puts on Mummy Pig's fancy dress and hat. Then she puts on the high-heeled shoes. Suddenly, Peppa is very tall. They giggle. Dressing up is very silly.
George, what else do I need to look exactly like Mummy?
Peppa asks. George does not know. Peppa goes over to Mummy's dresser. Sometimes Peppa watches Mummy Pig sit in front of the mirror and get ready to go out with Daddy Pig.
I need makeup, of course,
she says.
First, some powder.
Peppa pats the pink powder on her cheeks. Puff, puff, puff.
Lovely. Now for some lipstick.
Peppa draws on a smile using Mummy's shiny red lipstick.
How do I look?
George thinks Peppa makes a very pretty Mummy Pig.
Come along, Daddy Pig,
says Peppa.
It's time to go to work.
Peppa and George walk downstairs. They find the real Mummy Pig working on her computer. Hello, Peppa. Hello, George, says Mummy Pig.
I beg your pardon,
says Peppa.
I'm not Peppa, I'm Mummy Pig, and this is Daddy Pig.
Oh, I see, says Mummy Pig. Hello, Mummy Pig. Hello, Daddy Pig.
George,
Peppa whispers.
Remember to act exactly like Daddy,
says George.
Excuse me,
says Peppa.
I have a lot of work to do.
She picks up Mummy Pig's telephone.
Hello, yes? Do this, do that. Thank you.
Then Peppa taps on the computer keyboard. Tap, tap, tap. Peppa is very good at pretending to be Mummy Pig.
All right, goodbye,
she says, hanging up the phone.
And done. Come on, Daddy Pig, it's time you did some work too.
Peppa and George go back outside. They find Daddy Pig digging a hole in the garden. Hello, Peppa and George, says Daddy Pig.
I'm not Peppa, I'm Mummy Pig, and this is Daddy Pig,
says Peppa. Oh, I see, says Daddy Pig. What are you up to today?
We are here to do some work,
declares Peppa. George jumps into the hole and begins to dig. He is having fun pretending to work like Daddy Pig. Peppa jumps into the hole to help George dig. Suddenly, they hear Mummy Pig calling from the house. Peppa, George! Mummy Pig has brought ice cream for everyone. You must take off those muddy clothes before you eat, Peppa and George, she says.
I'm Mummy Pig and this is Daddy Pig,
Peppa insists. Are you sure? asks Mummy Pig.
That's a shame because I have Peppa and George's favourite ice cream flavours. But if we can't find them... Peppa and George quickly take off the muddy clothes. Here we are, shouts Peppa. We were only pretending to be you and Daddy Pig.
Ho, ho. You really had us fooled, says Daddy Pig.
It was George's idea to dress up, says Peppa.
George nods, licking his ice cream. You both did a very good job, says Mummy Pig. Peppa and George love ice cream, and they love pretending to be Mummy and Daddy Pig. But most of all, they love being brother and sister. The end. Peppa goes to Ireland. Peppa and George were packing their suitcases, ready to go to Ireland for an Irish dancing festival.
Wow!
Peppa was so excited, she couldn't stop dancing.
How will we get to Ireland, Daddy?
She asked.
Will we dance all the way there?
Daddy Pig laughed. No, Peppa. Ireland is a long way away. We need to fly or take a boat. Said Mummy Pig. I don't think we'll fit everything on an aeroplane. Do we really need all this? Asked Daddy Pig. Mummy Pig nodded. You never know what will come in handy on holiday. Okay, said Daddy Pig. We'll take the ferry instead.
We can't take a ferry, Daddy, gasped Peppa. A ferry is too small to carry us.
Not a ferry, Peppa, said Daddy Pig. A ferry. It's a big boat that can carry cars and people.
Oh,
said Peppa.
That's much better.
Once Mummy and Daddy Pig had squeezed everything into the car, they set off for the ferry port.
Hooray!
We're going to Ireland,
sang Peppa excitedly while practicing her Irish dancing steps.
Madame Gazelle said I must rehearse my dancing.
There's not really room in the car for dance practice, Peppa, said Daddy Pig. We're a bit squished. When they reached the port, Daddy Pig drove their little car inside the enormous ferry that was waiting to take them to Ireland.
It's a bit bigger than Grandpa's boat,
said Peppa. The ferry honked loudly. Just a bit, Daddy Pig shouted over the noise. On the ferry crossing, Peppa and George went out on the deck. Peppa spotted Ireland in the distance.
It's so lovely and green, she cried.
Isn't it beautiful? Said Daddy Pig. People call Ireland the Emerald Isle because it's green like an emerald.
Mummy looks a bit green too, said Peppa. Are you feeling all right, Mummy?
The sea's a bit choppy for me today, said Mummy Pig. When they reached Ireland, the sat-nav gave Daddy Pig directions to the Irish Dancing Festival. Follow the winding roads, in and out, then up and down, and over the hills, it said. After a while, Daddy Pig stopped the car so they could have a proper look around. Peppa and George practiced their Irish dancing, up and down and over the hills. As they got to the top of the biggest hill, Peppa spotted Miss Rabbit in a souvenir shop.
Hello, Miss Rabbit, said Peppa. What are you doing here? Hello, Peppa, said Miss Rabbit. I'm selling souvenirs. Look at the Irish dancing outfits, gasped Peppa. Can we get some for the Irish Dancing Festival, Daddy, please? OK, Daddy Pig said. 4 Irish dancing outfits, please. They can be our little bit of green Ireland to take home. Mammy Pig looked at the other things Miss Rabbit was selling. Ooh, she said. I've always wanted one of those, and one of those, and one of those, and... Soon, Mammy Pig had bought one of everything in Miss Rabbit's souvenir shop. Are you sure we have room for all this in the car? Asked Daddy Pig. Don't worry, said Mammy Pig. I'll find a way to fit it all in. After Mummy Pig's expert packing, Daddy Pig continued the journey along the winding roads. Are we at the festival yet? Asked Peppa. I think it's just around this bend, said Daddy Pig. Peppa looked eagerly out of the window. It's not! Are we at the festival yet now? I think it's just around this bend, said Daddy Pig. Peppa looked out the window again. No, she sighed. It's not. Oh no! Will it be much longer? Asked Peppa. Why don't we ask the sat-nav? Suggested Mummy Pig. Your destination is around the next bend, said the sat-nav. When they finally arrived at the Irish Dancing Festival, the sat-nav said, You have reached your destination. Hooray! Hooray! Everyone cheered. It's a bit quiet, said Peppa as they got out of the car. Why can't we hear any music? At the festival stage, they found Miss Rabbit again. I'm afraid we might have to cancel the festival, she said. Some of the band have forgotten their instruments. Oh no, Peppa said. But then she had a thought. What instruments do they need? An accordion, a tin whistle and a fiddle, said Miss Rabbit. I think we might have those in our car, cried Peppa. Mummy and Daddy Pig checked the car and pulled out an accordion, a tin whistle and a fiddle.
Wow!
You never know what will come in handy on holiday, said Mummy Pig smiling. That's very true, Mummy Pig, said Daddy Pig. Miss Rabbit gathered everyone at the festival together. Thanks to Peppa and her family, the Irish Dancing Festival can now begin, she said. Hooray! Everyone cheered. Peppa and her family changed into their Irish dancing outfits. The band played their music and everyone started dancing. Irish dancing is the best, cried Peppa. I just can't stop. Me neither, said Daddy Pig, going quite red. You're not green like Ireland, Daddy, said Peppa. You're red. Daddy Pig chuckled. Thanks, Peppa. Everyone was having so much fun dancing, they didn't notice it was beginning to rain. Luckily, Miss Rabbit appeared with a basket full of welly boots. It's getting a bit too muddy to dance now, said Miss Rabbit, frowning. Yes, said Peppa, but it's the perfect amount of muddy to do this. What a wonderful idea, said Miss Rabbit. Everyone at the Irish Dancing Festival jumped up and down in muddy puddles with Peppa. Peppa and her family love Ireland, and they love jumping up and down in Irish muddy puddles. The end. Grandpa Pig's boat. Grandpa Pig is taking Peppa and George out for a day on the river. I'm the captain of this boat, says Grandpa Pig. Granny Pig, Peppa and George all salute Grandpa Pig. Aye, aye, Captain, they cry. When I tell you to do something, you must do it, says Grandpa Pig. Unless it's something silly, Granny Pig tells Peppa and George. Grandpa Pig frowns. The captain never says anything silly. Of course not, Captain, says Granny Pig, saluting. Everyone does what Grandpa Pig says.
Wow.
He asks George to raise the flag and Granny Pig to take the wheel. Then Grandpa Pig tells Peppa to ring the bell. Off they go. The boats speed through the water. Granny Pig thinks they should go a bit slower. Good idea, Granny Pig, says Grandpa Pig. I don't want to use up all my petrol. Peppa spots another boat. It's Grandad Dog. He's taking Danny Dog out for a day on the river. Grandad Dog is Grandpa Pig's very best friend. Oh, I'm surprised your boat is still afloat, Grandad Dog. It must be almost as old as you are, says Grandpa Pig. Oh, this old boat can go faster than your rusty bucket any day, replies Grandad Dog. Grandpa Pig is not happy. He calls Grandad Dog a sea dog. Grandad Dog calls Grandpa Pig a water hog. You are both acting like little children, cries Granny Pig. Peppa and George think this is funny. Grandpa Pig won't say sorry. Grandad Dog won't say sorry. They decide to race instead. Grandad Dog zooms off. Catch me if you can, water hog, says Grandad Dog. Grandpa Pig is not happy. Sea dog, shouts Grandpa Pig. Grandpa Pig overtakes Grandad Dog and leaves him far behind. Can't catch me, ha 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 ha, says Grandpa Pig. I win. Oh no, my boat has run out of petrol, cries Grandpa Pig. Maybe I did go a bit too fast. Maybe Grandad Dog can tow us home, suggests Granny Pig. I don't want him to, says Grandpa Pig. Will you two ever grow up? Says Granny Pig. Grandpa, say sorry to Grandad Dog, says Peppa. Grandad, say sorry to Grandpa Pig, says Danny. Finally, they both say sorry. Grandad Dog is Grandpa Pig's very best friend. Grandad Dog tows Grandpa Pig's boat home. The main thing is I won the race, Grandpa Pig says to Peppa. Grandpa Pig, cries Granny Pig. Silly Grandpa Pig. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.